Common Fractions Part 4, Worksheet 1. Question 1, complete. Remember, leave each answer in the simplest form. For A, 1 1/4 plus 1 3/4. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1/4 plus 3/4 is 4/4. Therefore, we have 3 wholes. The next question, 1 plus 2 is 3 wholes, and 2/5 plus 1/5 is 3/5. Let's look at B. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2/4 plus 3/4 is 5/4. 5/4 is an improper fraction. 5/4 is equal to 1 1/4. Therefore, my final answer is 3 wholes and 1/4. Pause this video to complete question 1 by yourself. Question 2. Complete. 4 3/4 minus 1 1/4. 4 minus 1 whole is 3 wholes. 3/4 minus 1/4 is 2/4. And 2/4 we can rewrite in its simplest form, so we have a final answer of 3 1/2. Question B. 2 minus 1 is 1 whole, but 1/3 minus 2/3 we cannot do because there are not enough thirds. Therefore, we must rewrite both mixed numbers as improper fractions. 2 times 3 is 6/3, plus 1/3 is 7/3, minus 1 times 3 is 3/3, plus 2/3 is 5/3, and finally 7/3 minus 5/3 is 2/3. Pause this video to complete question 2 by yourself. Question 3. 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. And if we check going backwards, 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. Let's look at B. 2 minus 1 1/2 is 1/2, because 1/2 plus 1 1/2 is 2. 2 minus 1 1/4 is 3/4, because 3/4 plus 1 1/4 is 2. C. 3 minus 2 1/2 is 1/2. 3 minus 2 2/3 is 1/3, because 1/3 plus 2 2/3 is 3 wholes. Lastly, 3 minus 1 1/3. If I add 2/3 to 1 1/3, I'll be at 2 wholes. So I need to add another 1 whole. And let's check. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1/3 plus 2/3 is 1 whole to get us back to 3 wholes. Pause this video to complete question 3. Worksheet 2, word sums. Question 1. John ran 5 1/2 kilometers on Monday and 3 1/2 kilometers on Tuesday. How far did he run altogether? We're going to add the two. 5 1/2 plus 3 1/2. 5 plus 3 is 8. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. Therefore, 9 kilometers in total. Question B. How much further did he run on Monday than on Tuesday? We are going to work out the difference between the two distances. 5 1/2 minus 3 1/2. 5 minus 3 is 2, 1/2 minus 1/2 is 0, so he ran 2 kilometers further. Pause this video to complete Worksheet 2 by yourself. Worksheet 3, equivalent fractions. 1/2 and 2/4 are called equivalent fractions. What you times the bottom number by, you must times the top number by. In this case, we have times the bottom and the top by 2. Question 1. Complete to write equivalent fractions. 1/2 is equal to 3/6. We times the bottom by 3 and the top by 3. For B, 1/3 to get to something over 6, we times 3 times 2, and 1 times 2 is 2. Pause this video to complete question 1 by yourself. Question 2. Complete to write equivalent fractions. First question, I times by 8, so I times by 8. A half is equal to 8/16. Let's look at this question here. 6 to 24, I times by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Finally, 3/4 to get to 16ths, I times by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Pause this video to complete question 2. Question 3. Complete to write equivalent fractions. A half is equal to 2/4, which is equal to 4/8. For B, I times by 2, so I times by 2. Then to work out ninths, I look at the first fraction. 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 3 is 3. Let's do C together. I times by 2, so I times by 2. Then to get to 15ths, I look at my first fraction. I times by 3, and 1 times 3 is 3. Pause this video to complete question 3 by yourself. Worksheet 4, lowest common multiple. Question 1, write down the first 4 multiples of each of the following numbers. Pause this video to do this by yourself. Question 2, find the lowest common multiple of 2 and 4. The first couple of multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6. The first multiples of 4 are 4 and 8. Therefore, the lowest common multiple is 4. Pause this video to complete question 2. Question 3. Find the lowest common multiple of each of the following by inspection. 2 and 4, we know that the lowest common multiple is 4. 3 and 9, the lowest common multiple of 3 and 9 is 9. They both fit into 9. Pause this video to complete question 3. Question 4. Another way to say lowest common multiple is the lowest common denominator. Remember this for the next page. Worksheet 5. We can only add fractions with the same denominators. In other words, like fractions. If, however, fractions have different denominators, we first need to rewrite one or both fractions to have the same denominators. 1/3 plus 5/6, we have different denominators. We need to find the lowest common denominator between 3 and 6, which is 6. So we rewrite 1/3 as 2/6, and 2/6 plus 5/6 is 7/6, which is 1 1/6. Question 1. Very important, leave answers as mixed numbers and in simplest form where necessary. A half plus 3/8. The lowest common denominator between 2 and 8 is 8. So we rewrite a half as 4/8. Then we add 3/8 and our answer is 7/8. B, 1/3 and 5/6. The lowest common denominator is 6. We rewrite 1/3 as 2/6 times top and bottom by 2. 2/6 plus 5/6 is 7/6, which as a mixed number is 1 1/6. Pause this video to complete A and B by yourself. Question C. A half and 6, the lowest common denominator is 6. We rewrite a half as 3/6, plus 5/6 is 8/6. We simplify our improper fraction first, divide top and bottom by 2, so we get 4/3, which is 1 1/3. Pause this video to complete questions C and D by yourself. Question 2. Fifths plus tenths, lowest common denominator is 10, times by 2 times by 2, so we get 4/10 plus 3/10 is 7/10. B, we have quarters plus sixths, so we first keep our mixed numbers, we rewrite our quarters as 16ths, times by 4 times by 4. Then we have 1 12/16 plus 2 5/16. 1 plus 2 is 3 wholes. 12/16 plus 5/16 is 17/16, which is 1 1/16. So our final answer is 4 1/16. Pause this video to complete question 2. Question 3. We have a mixed number minus another mixed number. We have thirds and sixths. The lowest common denominator is sixths. 1/3 is equal to 2/6, which is important to know because 2/6 is bigger than 1/6. Therefore, we can do our minus sum. 2 minus 1 is 1, and 2/6 minus 1/6 is 1/6 to give us a final answer. Look at the explanation for B by yourself and complete question A and B by yourself. Question C. 2 1/6 minus 1 1/3. The lowest common denominator is 6. So we have 2/6 there. Now 1/6 minus 2/6 we are not going to be able to do. So we rewrite both of our mixed numbers as improper fractions first. Then we have 13/6 minus 4/3. We need to get our lowest common denominator. So we rewrite 4/3 times top and bottom by 2 to get 8/6. Then 13/6 minus 8/6 is 5/6. Pause this video to complete the rest of this page by yourself. Worksheet 6. Find the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. The first couple of multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. Of 3 are 3, 6, 9. We see our lowest common multiple is 6. Pause this video to complete question 1. Question 2. Find the LCM of each of the following by inspection this time. B. The lowest common multiple of 4 and 3 is 12. Pause this video to complete question 2. Question 3. Once again, another way to say lowest common multiple is the lowest common denominator. Worksheet 7. We know that we can only add fractions with the same denominators. Therefore, a half plus a fifth, the lowest common denominator of 2 and 5 is 10. So we rewrite a half as 5/10 and 1/5 as 2/10 to get an answer of 7/10. Question 1. Pause this video to complete question A and B by yourself. Question C. We have thirds and fifths. Our lowest common denominator is 15ths. Therefore, 2 and 1/3 we rewrite as 2 and 5/15, plus 1 and 1/5 we rewrite as 1 and 3/15, to give a final answer of 3 and 8/15. Pause to complete question C. Question 2. Use what you have learned to answer A and B by yourself. Question 3. It's a minus sum. Halves and thirds, the lowest common denominator is 6. A half is 3/6 and a third is 2/6. Therefore, we can do our subtraction sum. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 3/6 minus 2/6 is 1/6. Press pause to complete question 3. Question 4. 2 1/3 minus 1 1/2. 1/3 is equal to 2/6 and a half is equal to 3/6. Now we cannot do 2/6 minus 3/6. We do not have enough 6. Therefore, we rewrite both mixed numbers as improper fractions as shown. Then we need to find our lowest common denominator of 3 and 2, which is 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. 10 times 2 is 20. We do the same for 3 halves to get 9/6. Finally, 26 minus 9/6 is 11/6, which as a mixed number is 1 5/6. Press pause to complete question 4 and question 5 by yourself. Questions 6, 7, 8 and 9. Complete these questions by yourself. Worksheet 8. Calculate the following. We have plus and minus in the same sum, so we must simply do our sum from left to right. 4 plus 2 is 6. Quarter plus a quarter is 2/4. Then we need to minus a half. We know that 2/4 is a half, so 6 1/2 minus a half is 6. Let's look at B. 2 1/2 plus 3 1/4. We must change our halves to quarters. So we've got 2 2/4. 2 2/4 plus 3 1/4 is 5 3/4 minus a half, which is 2/4. So the final answer is 5 1/4. Pause this video to complete question A, B, C, and D by yourself. Let's look at E. 3 1/3 plus 2 5/6. 1/3 is 2/6. Therefore, 3 plus 2 is 5. 2/6 plus 5/6 is 7/6. Minus 1 whole. A half is 3/6. So the final answer is 4 4/6, or in simplest form, 4 2/3. Let's look at F. Let's do it together. 3 5/6 minus 1 1/2, which is 1 3/6. 3 minus 1 is 2. 5/6 minus 3/6 is 2/6. Minus 1/12. We have to rewrite our 6 as 12ths. 2/6 is 4/12. Therefore, 2 4/12 minus 1/12 is 2 3/12, which in simplest form is 2 wholes and 1/4. Pause this video to complete questions E and F and the remaining word sums by yourself.